Marijuana is a drug. There is no denying that. But then again, so is caffeine, tobacco, and alcohol, all of which are legal on a national level despite all the facts working against them. And while it is true that marijuana does have some negative side effects, I will show that the benefits outweigh the cost, why it should be legalized on a national level, and why you should advocate for the support of legalization. Legalization is the adoption of a controlled, regulated market for the purchase of marijuana for personal recreational use from a legal vendor. Marijuana has been legalized by 4 states so far: Colorado, Washington, Alaska, and Oregon. According to PewResearch.org, 53% of Americans are in favor of legalizing marijuana, and nearly 70% believe that alcohol is actually worse for you than marijuana. I'm sure everyone has experienced an incident, whether it be yourself, somebody you know, or somebody you didn't know, involving alcohol. In some way, they became belligerent and uncomfortable to be around. With marijuana, the most belligerent someone is going to get is devouring a bag of chips. Legalization can also bring about an economic stimulus to communities that desperately need it, health benefits to those that are sick, and, like alcohol, simply provide a way for adults to relax. According to WHO, the World Health Organization, marijuana has been proven to impair cognitive development and psychomotor performance, tissue damage to the throat and lungs, and use during pregnancy can lead to fetal development issues. Additionally, marijuana has been shown to contain many of the same carcinogens as tobacco smoke, and including greater amounts of certain aromatic hydrocarbons. These are valid and serious consequences to take into consideration. Health for our loved ones and ourselves is nothing to take lightly. However, the benefits may outweigh the costs, especially since both tobacco and alcohol are legal today of adults of consenting age. Normal.org has stated that currently more than 60 U.S. and international health organizations advocate for granting qualifying patients to legal access to medical marijuana under physician's supervision and approval. Causes such as glaucoma, pain relief, nausea, spasticity, and an appetite stimulant for people suffering from cancer, eggs, or dementia. There's also been promising research being conducted that certain chemical properties of marijuana may lead to protection against some forms of malignant tumors as well. There are some very serious and important health considerations to take into factor with the use of marijuana, especially if used habitually. However, if legalized for recreational use, there are other alternatives that can be used, such as edibles, which are forms of baked goods and candies, vaporizers, which are machines that vaporize marijuana so there's less toxic chemicals and carcinogens taken into the lungs, oils, and even pills that can be used. Marijuana is much less harmful than alcohol or tobacco. Approximately 50,000 people die from alcohol poisoning each year, and more than 400,000 people die from tobacco smoke. In comparison, marijuana is far less toxic, and you cannot die from an overdose, making a much safer alternative to use recreationally for yourself or your loved ones. Another important factor to take into consideration is marijuana's socioeconomic benefits. Here are some numbers to wrap your head around. According to the Huffington Post, in 2014, the legal marijuana market was worth $2.7 billion. The same report projects by 2019, all of state legal marijuana markets combined can make a potential of $11 billion annually. Colorado collected $6.17 million in tax revenue in the first 2 months of 2014. If legalized on a national level, this can bring a whole new industry America can utilize as a country and benefit from. Another report done by the Washington Post has brought attention to is the factors of arrests due to marijuana. If legalized, valuable police work, resources, and court cases can be focused on more important matters. Since 2012, arrests in Colorado due to marijuana have dropped 95%. Marijuana can also contribute in another way most people do not generally think of. A species of the plant, normally referred to as hemp, which contains less than 1% of THC, the psychoactive component, and marijuana can be utilized in many applications, such as clothing, textiles, plastic, paper, animal feed, and other products. This creates a whole nother industry that can be benefited from. Everybody has a friend or knows somebody who's searching for a job, and even if you don't use your marijuana recreationally yourself, you can create jobs for people who need them. Marijuana is known to cause laziness, apathy, and a potential gateway to a life of crime. However, since it has been legalized by multiple states, none of this seems to be true on a mass scale. Arrests are down, new industries have developed, leading to economic growth with potential for more. Legalization on a national level could do the same thing for America. Marijuana is a potentially dangerous drug that may lead to health hazards, laziness, and possible further drug use. But I am talking to adults, and adults are able to reason through the facts that are presented to them and make their own deductions about whether a substance is appropriate for them. So I encourage you to go and talk to your fellow peers, vote, and talk to your congressman and get marijuana legalized.